All right. Well, thank you, Emily. I would love to hear about, so it was the Herbalism of the Soul program when you did this program, and I have chosen to switch back to the original name, which is Psychic Herbalism. So, how would you describe your experience in this program? What kind of comes to mind to you about moving through, the pathway that I set out for us each week and setting that into, the practice that you already had existing because you were someone who came in with a little more of a dabbling, like more than a dabbling in this area. So I would love to hear about your experience and how that has enriched perhaps your practice and what you bring to the world and also your personal growth and yeah, what has come from it all.
Thank you, Emily. I'd be delighted to share a little bit. I actually have a question as well that I'm curious about after I share. I would love to know why you changed back and sort of what that brings forth for you. I'm really curious
Could do a whole 30
about
minute
that.
interview on that or hour.
I'm sure I'm not the only one.
I will I'll answer that after you.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, do you know what? The program was really beautiful and it was beautiful for in a number of ways for me. I think for me as someone that does sort of space hold for others, for me it was really beautiful to have that time
Mhm.
put aside every week to have space held for me and to also really dedicate to just um, being a learner, being in that sense of beginner's mind. And really, I think it's so healthy to kind of be in that space often as possible. So I really loved that. Uh, where your attention goes, energy flows too. So of course, there was just naturally with that energy, with that focus, there were changes that happened and occurred for me anyway. I really was amazed at the simplicity of the practices and the tools that you offered, but their potency. There are so many tools, so many, ways of accessing and building relationship with our intuition, with our gifts. The tools, the toolbox that you helped us build was amazing. And it stuck. Like the tools that you offered me, the practices, the way that you just gradually helped each of us build our own practice or build on the practice that we already had was so practical. Like it was, I still today am working with the tools and the practices that you kind of, maybe they're not exactly the same as you sort of, because you don't prescribe them, you kind of offer them, and then it's almost like we can kind of journey and explore and build our own relationship with those practices. I also found a lot of them quite activating in the sense that, and I'm sure this would be very useful if you didn't have your own practice already, you're kind of almost holding up a bit of a sacred mirror, which help me see the way, the language, the natural tools that I already had connected with in my own lifetime, my own experience. And you were kind of helping me give a bit more form to them.
Mhm.
So a lot of them are just very inherent and very natural. And I think that I'm not the only one that experienced that. So you, for example, work a lot with the energy of Rose. And Rose is such an ally for so many, I feel like, it's such an ancient symbol, archetype, essence, frequency, energy. And I think in that way, there's so much depth and so much possibility in working with that kind of energy for each of us in our own way. Um, so I really found them powerful. I still use many of the practices, in some ways, I've kind of made them my own. And I think even coming together and just giving that time once a week for really good cleansing, like really good presencing, wow, you realize, oh, that's right. Almost this is all that's really needed in many ways. Um, so yeah, I really found that powerful and nourishing, and I felt very free in the program too. Like I didn't feel I can be a little, I think all of us perhaps have a rebellious streak in us in some ways.
Probably.
And, I think, yeah, there wasn't a sense of like any kind of like, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. Your practice felt incredibly embodied. And in a way, that embodiment just helped me, and I'm sure others come into resonance with their own embodiment of that kind of grounded, present energy.
Wow. Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you.
I appreciate everything you said so much, and especially the reflection of um, having a space for ourselves when we are space holders, whether that, you are a mother and you are a healer, you're holding a lot of space, right? I mean, and me too, right? Um, and yeah, it's like so important to tend our own waters and to just take 2 hours out of the week to replenish. And just, I think for so many people and how busy life can be, 2 hours out of the week is like, how? How am I? It's like it's like a lot. And the program used to be even longer. It was 3 hours per class. And I was like, it's not that long. But it is. But what it does, yeah, it makes a really profound shift. Just taking
Yeah,
those 2 hours to really clean, to really cleanse, to really get into your body
yeah,
as with your, unique frequency. It makes such a difference. So thank you for all the words that you gave to that experience. Um, I appreciate that reflection so much. Um, Also, okay, well, I can answer the question you asked about why did I change it back to psychic herbalism. Well, the first, like, most simple answer is I woke up in the middle of the night with the clearest intuition that that was always the name, and that herbalism of the soul was kind of a bridge back into this work for me because um, I did take 4 years off of teaching um, for a number of reasons. One, I didn't really want this to be like a business
mm,
anymore. I wanted this to be my church, my space, like
mm,
for my spiritual growth.
mm,
And and it kind of had formed into a business very quickly. And I just decided I wanted to keep my spiritual space very free. Um, and I also wanted to have another baby. And I didn't want to be pulled in two different directions, trying to build a business and trying to be present for another little one. So that was why I kind of, two big reasons that I stepped away and came back with just the desire to pursue this work again. Stopping saying I will do it once my kids are 10, I'll do it once my kids are older. I just decided, okay, I'm going to do it now, and I'm just gonna do it in a way that I can, like with the ages of children that I have, which are very young, 1, 3, and 7.
mm.
Um, and so I just decided I would find a way, and I did. Um, and then Yeah, so herbalism of the soul was kind of a bridge for me back to psychic herbalism. I think I also there's quite an energy on the word psychic.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it can be a trigger word for some people. So I think I was
Yeah.
trying to avoid triggering people.
Yeah.
Um, However, psychic herbalism just felt like the name. And so I can't make my name about avoiding triggering people.
It's just so funny because I mean, obviously, I was introduced to it as
Herbalism of the
herbalism for the soul, but I called it psychic herbalism. When
well,
some
maybe
people
that's what it's
ask me
named.
about it, when people would say, what do you do?" I'd say, "Oh, it's psychic herbalism." Oh, it's and it would I'd have to like reach for the
Any,
name.
well, okay, so that's exactly how it was for me. I could, Herbalism of the Soul was a name right out here in front of me that I
Yes.
remember and reach for. And my
Yeah.
husband was always like, when's your psychic herbalism
Yes.
class? And psychic herbalism is a name that I feel from my toes all the way to my head.
Yeah.
So that is why I made the shift back to psychic herbalism, because
Yes.
I can feel it from my toes up to my
It
head.
is what it is.
It is what it is. It's the first name that it ever had, and it's the name
Mm,
that it that is right.
mm,
I also, it's kind of a niche-ish Instagram handle, but it's not really. It's it's one that I wouldn't be surprised if it had gotten taken in those years
right.
in many years that I left it, right?
Mm,
You wouldn't be
mm.
that surprised if someone hopped on it, right?
Yeah.
But it was still there, which
Yeah.
was interesting. So I
Yeah.
just reclaimed it, um, you know, very not reclaimed it because I do believe that this work like belongs to all of us.
Mm.
And you know, yeah, it does. It belongs to all of us, and it's about remembering,
Oh,
remembering
yeah.
who we are,
That's so beautiful.
remembering our lineage, remembering
Mm.
what didn't get passed down, right? And remember,
Mm.
but finding that through ourselves, I think it is a very special and sacred
Mm.
experience. Just finding that information,
Mm.
spiritual
Mm.
and exploration. I mean, I've found it profound for myself and for so many people
Mm.
too. So,
I feel like that word actually is so interesting. It's bringing up a couple of things for me right now, but even that journey of the name, like kind of a remembering of the name, and um, in a way, like the energy of the class did feel like that. It carried a kind of remembering, and it is a kind of remembering of the self, but also a remembering of something that's much larger. As you say, it belongs to us all. And certainly, I found even in the last few weeks, I'm having that experience a lot of really remembering how much uh, each of us are weaving our own um, expression of this kind of collective remembering, of this kind of um, remembering it doesn't belong to each of us, and we're all weaving it together in our own way, perhaps, or our own expression, but uh, we're working together in many ways, and I think that's so beautiful how it's both a remembering and a becoming at the same time.
yes, yes.
Mm, mm. So I love that journey of the remembered name.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the story. Um, it was very easy the next day. I was like, here we go.
You're like, of course.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and the old website was also available. Everything was
Yeah,
still available. It was
just
like,
yeah. Okay.
yeah, I was like, okay, great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I love
Um,
that.
mm, yeah, it felt very right, especially since it all just kind of pieced together. Like it was
Yeah.
for me to
Yeah.
put it in the world. And
Yeah.
the patience for me as well, which I was
Mm,
grateful for.
gosh, yes. And even that little journey in itself of kind of, yeah, it's um not that it ever had the wrong name, but yeah, there was some kind of gold in that
Mm.
journey of that process.
There there definitely was. Yeah.
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 Mm, I love that. And that is again, like I think as I'm not sure I would call you a teacher in this space. I feel that yeah, as you say, like even the course being kind of such a place of presence for you, not focusing on it as a business, but focusing on it as a place of presence. And I think that comes across so strongly in the way, in just your energy that you bring to each session.
Mm.
And I think I do feel for me personally, at least, that's very important when you're doing psychic work or any kind of work like this, is to really have that kind of trust and that circle sense, that there's no sort of hierarchy. It's very much a circle sense, and all in our own ways. Um, yeah, that remembering and becoming, we're all going through that kind of metamorphosis at the same time. So I really, I really appreciated that as a lot. That kind of embodied, um, yeah, not humbleness in the sense of like just like, yeah, very grounded, embodied energy that you brought. Yeah.
Um, and it was a pleasure to have you in the class. You brought, I mean, just so you're a mama of three as well. And
Hmm.
I know the commitment that it takes in motherhood to pursue something like this, right? To decide that you're going to give to yourself for one. I
Mm.
mean, that's a big step in motherhood is to start taking that
Absolutely.
time. Um, and also, I mean, I just loved all of your reflections that you would share about the tools, certainly, and what you were noticing with them and the words that you put to them, which was one of the reasons I was really looking forward to this time with you because I love the way you
Mm.
describe energy, articulate energy.
Thank you.
Um, you practiced it, maybe not just in this lifetime, certainly not.
Maybe not.
And um, I would also love to hear from you if there are any experiences with the plant spirits that kind of stick out to you um, as something that you would feel comfortable sharing um,
Mm.
or can recall easily or just, come to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure going into some of the tools that you presented, I love how you um really had us sit with the energy and the frequency, the spirit, the essence of a plant, and kind of gave each of us, because we all do experience that energy, at least initially, in different kinds of ways. We have our own language, and you gave us options and ways of listening, deepening our listening, deepening that kind of conversation with the plants. So perhaps using, color or memory or sensation, these kinds of things. And I think that gives us such an embodied experience of the plants that, you know, it's not conceptual, it's it's experienced. And so you can't teach that, it's something that is awakened within each of us. But you do it in a really simple, practical way. So I think that if you, then it doesn't matter if you're wonderful, if you're first starting out,
Yeah,
you know, it, and you're not even sure what it is, and wonderful if you've had lots of experience because um yeah, I had a teacher beautifully say once to me, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you sit around the fire, there's something that it will teach you.
of course. Yeah.
And very much that kind of relationship with the plants, you know, it's never ending in the most beautiful way.
Mhm.
And I think for me, you know, Rose, as I mentioned her before, she's come through. Rose has always been such an ally, such a friend, and I loved, I really loved how you worked with Rose as like Rose for protection, Rose for kind of creating and being aware of space, of our own space, of our own kind of natural boundaries. And I think it's a really receptive way to deal with or to kind of uh, build a greater understanding of our boundaries. And yeah, that was really powerful for me. That was really, really powerful for me, working with the, you know, the rows of protection and uh, and also, you know, the playfulness. There's also a lot of play uh, with plants and a lot of awakening that kind of joyfulness with plants and really kind of playing with our imagination in its kind of creative essence. And I think, you know, even 2 hours to play with the plants, you know, perhaps as we used to really actually play as children, making our potions or climbing trees or
Mm.
making, you know, little buttercup bracelets and things like that. I think uh, there's so much nourishment and so much generated when we give time and space to play with plants. And there was a lot of that energy, I think, as well, in in the in the class, in the sessions. Um, and also, I think what was really beautiful is sometimes, and I mean, I don't want to name everybody's experience, but I think sometimes um, people couldn't even be a little bit afraid of kind of sort of getting things wrong or right, of there being a correct answer. I mean, it makes sense in a way of the way many of us were educated, but there isn't a right or wrong answer in the playground of the classroom, in the sense that we all have our own way of relating to the plants. So it's not like it's like, oh, you didn't get blue. Like it wasn't like, and
Oh,
so
good thing
in
you don't
that
look
sense,
together. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so, and I think it also builds, it kind of peels back that veil of, even if you've ever gone to somebody as a psychic or worked with somebody in that sense, it kind of peels back the veil that it's all relational, like it's all relational. And um, I think that creates a sense of safety. That's really an empowerment that's really, really important for each of us when working with you know, entering this kind of realm or
Mm.
remembering it, is that sense of trusting self, of safety, and of having the courage to explore, to experience, to you know, validate isn't the right word, but you know, really encouraged and nourished everybody's own sense of knowing, you
Thank
know,
you.
and practicing what that is, what that feels like, what that might, what how that might be for us. And I think you can carry that kind of gift into all areas of your life.
Completely. Yes. I mean, I I think about that so often. Um, we're not really taught to trust, you know, intuition
Mm.
very much, or that we could really have our own answer, or have own our own answer that could perhaps be very different from someone else's answer about the same thing, right? Maybe everyone's connecting to Yarrow, but um, nobody has the same thing to say. Every, no one, we don't get 100% the same color. Maybe a
Yeah.
couple people get the same color,
Yeah.
but does that even, you know, but the rest of their experience wasn't exactly the same.
And none of our lives are this, are they really?
And yes, and so it's just, it's like we're all looking, it's like this crystal with all these different facets and sides that we're all kind of looking at from these different angles, and we're peering in kind of from wherever we peer in from.
Hmm.
And we're going to see something different, but what always also fascinates me, because there are no wrong answers. I always hear, because I may have even I do have a different perspective, because I'm inviting the students to um, share their experiences, which is a very important part of the program, is giving words. I think it affirms the articulation, the articulation affirms the
Mm.
experiences. Um, and I think that, but I also hear that that everyone's talking about one thing.
Hmm.
I hear there's one energy, like,
Mm.
that's there. I always can trace it. Like, it's incredible. Um, yeah, it's so fun. I don't get tired of I don't get tired of it. It's just fascinating for me.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, there's no right, no wrong. I mean, it's such a different learning style, but I think it's just so important.
Yeah.
It's so important to be able to move through life. And I mean, it's a way to practice having your own answer and trusting it and going with it, even if it's not the program or what you're supposed to do or what your parents want you to do or what your friends are, nothing, none of it. It's just, well, you're you. So, and
Yeah.
it's about discerning that energy as well. The
Yeah.
program's really
Absolutely. Yeah.
huge focus on discernment of one's energy and,
Mm.
yeah.
And so, I mean, what a powerful thing at this time where, I mean, sort of, yeah, you can go to all sorts of systems and ask for an answer, and might be like, this is the answer, or give you all sorts of things. But to come back to ourselves, you know, um, to generate that kind of understanding or creativity, and know that, yeah, if you're kind of moving out of the if you do get a different color or different answer to someone, you're actually moving into a space perhaps that is new, and that's how things come in, that's how new things are created, form is birth.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it's really beautiful, and it's beautiful to do that in a group where there is a sense of being held, and of being heard, and of being seen, because as I think that's really beautiful what you bring forth is articulating it, and kind of, yeah, breathing it into the world, and having it be heard is, yeah, amazing, really amazing. And hearing other people, I mean, it's so gorgeous, and you do receive so much. It's like, yeah, you're really getting to experience other people's worlds, their visions, their relationships, it's like being in a gallery with different kinds of artwork and styles and everything, and kind of delighting in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's
It's
a lot
very
of
so fun.
fun.
Is there anything else, that comes to mind? Also, any ideas or pivots or that could enhance one's experience or any other shares. I'm open to hearing.
I mean, my thing is a very selfish, practical thing where I'm like, oh, the timing was a little tricky for me because but still, I'm in
New
the Southern
Zealand.
Hemisphere. I'm in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So on the other side of the world in winter.
Mhm.
So amazing still to be part of it and beautiful to catch up on the recordings when I couldn't be there live. So and you were very like you were really I felt very connected and felt that energy even when I wasn't able to make it live. Of course, I could still feel that energy of the
Mhm.
group in the sessions really
Mhm.
strongly. So yeah, I really enjoyed it and I recommend it. I do, and I thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Emily,
Thank you.
for following your intuition, your, impulse and inner inner guidance to join and trust me with your spiritual growth and a space to hold you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emily. The
Mhm.
two Emilys.
The two enemies
With
with
the-
three children who both moved
You can do,
to
yeah,
Denver.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And um, oh, what time would have been a good time for you?
I think
I'm
maybe
not
like
trying to get everyone to New Zealand necessarily.
no, no, maybe just like a shade later, like an hour later would have been good for me.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just an hour later could have.
Want to,
But scanning the time zones, because I think you had people in from all over.
yeah.
So it's always a kind of a web to weave.
It's a
Um,
bit to weave, and I had to make it work with the nap times around
and
here.
that's the most important thing, I think,
Right. I mean, I had
because
to be
yeah.
available. Yeah. So,
And I think even that in itself, like you holding the space from that space, is actually very powerful. To be like, this is the space I have that feels good for me, is actually, I think, even that in itself is like, yeah, because that's, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can, I'm going to choose the space that actually works for my family, myself, like,
mm,
and I think, yes, so even that in itself is
yes.
awesome.
But that's good to know just when a good time for you.
But besides that, no, I don't. I really enjoyed it. It was a good length of time. I mean, I loved you had options to continue as well, which felt really wonderful. And I mean, I would be keen to do other rounds as well, like because there is, yes, it's there's always something to learn, and there's just always it's really so nourishing,
Yeah, I mean,
nourishing.
I had a number of students repeat,
Yeah,
um, because like you said, it's not like, oh, I've already sat around a campfire, done.
yeah.
It's like,
It's like
no,
conversations with friends, right? They're
this
endless. You're like,
you're gonna come to it at a new evolution of you,
yes,
and it's gonna be different because you're different, and
yes,
all the plants are gonna respond differently because you're different, and that you're gonna experience your tools differently. Everything's gonna be new because you're different.
yes.
'Cause we keep shedding our layers, and you
Mm.
know, every time we're having a new life experience to expand us, and it's just always going to be, yeah.
The mystery and magic of what awaits. I mean, yeah, it's really, it's fun in that sense too, you
Yeah.
know? It's like,
Well,
wonder.
thank you so much, Emily.
Oh, thank you. It was such a joy
Yes,
to see you again in the
yes.
beautiful sunshine.
The sunshine, sunny weather. Yes, summer is here.
Mm.
We're back to the beach, and
Mm.
lots of outside time, which is
Mm.
wonderful.
Mm.
Yes. Uh, all right. Well, I'll let you go. I so appreciate you taking this time. And
It's a pleasure.
yes,
It
it's
was a
been
pleasure.
so lovely. And yes, we'll reconnect soon.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that.
All right.
Lots of love.
Lots of love. Okay. Bye
Bye.
bye.